Chama Wingapo, y'all. Hey, DJ Mosey. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm in the car. You know how the car goes. Y'all can hear me? Greetings. Chama Wingapo. Yes, you can hear me? Okay, good, good. All right. So I was in. Ooh, what the heck? I'm sorry. It's just like a fox just running out in front of my car. Anyway, peace, peace, love and light, y'all. So I just want to talk about colorism because I'm seeing a lot of it go on within the indigenous and the aboriginal community or whatever you guys want to call it. But I'm getting a little annoyed with it. I mean, it's one thing for them to discriminate against the natives, quote unquote. But now people are, and I unnecessarily don't like that because just mind, I mean, mind your business. What they're doing don't have nothing to do with what we're doing. And if we do stuff together, whatever. But anyways, that's a whole nother subject. But there's a lot of colorism going on within the indigenous aboriginal community, and it's just like, what is the point? It's like you guys are creating more and more division amongst us. People aren't dark enough. People aren't this and that. Like it's they're some people are acting like only dark skinned people with a certain texture of hair can be indigenous and aboriginal to America, which is not true because we had plenty of different shades, right? When the Europeans got here, John Smith and a couple of other people recorded seeing people from tawny color, which is a light skinned person, right? Like a sand colored beige person, to very dark. I'm sorry, y'all. My thing fell to very dark brown, almost black, right? So from tawny, very light skinned person, to almost the color black, like my sweater, y'all. So it's a whole bunch of different colors, whole bunch of different phenotypes. I'm sorry, that thing fell. I was trying out something different. So, and we got these people talking about certain people don't look like uh, their ancestors. One of my cousins informed me that a Tachinus one was on his live talking bad about me. One live he gives me props, and then next live he's saying, trying to discredit what I'm saying on my channel, and saying I don't look like Virginia Indians. I don't look like my ancestors. But my ancestors, we have pictures of them, were different shades, right? Even in the same family. So I was at the library. I was doing business. But yeah, like people in my own, I have a picture of the Queen of Pamunkey, Chief Kokoeski, and she looks like a light-skinned so-called black woman with kinky hair. She has her hair pinned up, like kinky, like well, kinkier than mine, and pinned up. There's you said I also look like I definitely look like Virginia. That's what I'm saying. It's regular people walking around Virginia that look like me. So it's like, and then there's her grandfather who was Chief Opichancanno, who was very dark skinned. So if we didn't come in various colors before we started mixing, how can a very dark skinned man have a light skinned granddaughter, right? Because we came in various shades. He said it's interesting how people play these games. Most of the people that play these games don't even have land patterns. Exactly. And people, you said he never said that. Several people heard him say that. So whoever saying he never said it. I'm not going to sit there and listen to 4 hour lectures or whatever. But people talking about me, I'm going to address it. And you don't hear me talking about anybody on here. So why are they talking bad about me? That don't make any sense. Yeah, so as many documented cases of us looking different, right? Rafanique, which a lot of people quote, he talks about the various different looks of the indigenous people of the Americas. In the Americas, it includes Mexico, and it includes South America, and it includes the Caribbean. Now, you can't just say, oh, F the Caribbean Indians. We're only talking about North America, like a Chachiness one says. Those people are related. If you've done your research, like I have, you would see that they took whole tribes from here and they sent them to the Caribbean as slaves, right? And those people, even before that, people from the Caribbean, Tainos, the Caribs, they mixed in with certain tribes. Powhatan and one, the Tainos mixed in with. Various tribes on the coastline, like in Florida, those people from the Caribbean mixed in with, and vice versa. So, trying to cut off people, trying to put everybody in boxes, trying to promote this colorism, it's really a waste of time, and it's just negative energy. It's like, brother, when you can barely, I can barely watch the video. I only tried to watch two of them because the brother got problems reading. Like, I can't understand what he's saying half the time. But you're focused on the wrong thing. Focus on looks instead of improving yourself. And have you even done your genealogy to say what your ancestors look like to be judging other people? That's the stuff I don't like. You said you heard him say you couldn't be a Virginia Indian with straight hair. Well, I have dark skin, like I just said, I have dark skinned ancestors who had straight hair. You said half don't count. Right, like you people are you putting everybody in boxes, but that's not how it was. Yeah, genealogy is key, and people saying F genealogy and forget about it and don't even they're trying to tell you something, but they're not even spending time finding their own family, their own genealogy. So I just wanted to address that because people are addressing me and I haven't even said anything and I wasn't even there to defend myself. All right, it's various pictures people have found and posted of people from my specific tribe that I look like and that people in my family look like. So to say that I don't look like a Virginia Indian is ridiculous. And it doesn't matter if I look like it or not. I'm connected to them by genealogy, by bloodline. So whatever. You said 99% of Aboriginals have not done their genealogy, and that's a big problem, love. You're right. It's a big problem. You said you're sued through genealogy. Yeah, that's a big problem. You can't be going around. There's people who are going around harassing natives, quote unquote, harassing Pan Africans, and they don't even know who they are. They haven't even done their genealogy. So why are you guys out there worried about them people? Worry about your family. Worry about yourself. Worry about reclaiming your family, right? You said the Vatican knows the truth and they have old technology. They definitely do, King. They have a lot of the Mayan codexes and a lot of the stuff that they claim have been burnt. They do have in the Vatican, and they permitted to it, right? Not just from America, from different countries, from Asia, from Africa, from the original Europeans, the indigenous Europeans. Yeah, I'm trying not to let the negative. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny, so that's all I'm gonna do. I've been doing my research, helping y'all, doing me, and people still. It's not just that one person. There's other people who have been saying sneaky things, and it's like you would think these people would be trying to welcome me more, because I'm usually, I used to be more on Facebook, so now I'm trying to get on YouTube, and I'm getting attacked. Like what? It don't make any sense. People want a quick fix. Yeah, they do. They don't want to do the work. They did not want to do the work at all. What does that say? Genesis, genes of Isis. Remember the master trichology. Do your science study. Right. Yeah. Yeah. The self segregation stuff gotta stop, yo. You're right, Terrence. You're right. I'm not about to. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. And I've given the brother props for his research before, so for him to go and try to say something about me is unnecessary, really. But anyways, back to the topic of colorism. We gotta stop it. We're focusing on the wrong stuff here. You said colorism is a drug. Is Colorism is the sister drug to racism. Right. It definitely is, and it's unnecessary. Where do we get with colorism? Especially where we're trying to create a new community, in a sense. We're trying to get away from those stigmas of colorism that might have happened in the past and gave certain people advantages over others. That's the whole point of getting in touch with your indigenous roots, to get away from that European standard of beauty, of everything. So hold on a second, y'all. I gotta cut my air conditioner on. It's hot out here, y'all. You gave him props, but then just insulted. He insulted me. You must be in charge in this one then. Come on now. My cousin was on the live. Why would she lie about it? What he said. They on their little, what they call them, their extra screen name. So that must be you. If you want to address it, get on here and address it. Don't be hiding around behind the name indigenous. Well, clearly you are mistaken then. There's no point of bringing me up in a negative light at all. So, and why are you keep bringing up my ancestors for one thing in a negative light? My other cousin had already got on him about that. Who is his ancestors? Why don't he bring up his ancestors? Stop talking about the Powerton tribe, the Powerton nation. Then it's ridiculous. And clearly, you do care because you're still talking about it. You're defending him like you're him. My family members had no reason to lie. I personally, I don't have no problem with them, but don't you're not gonna come for me, and I'm just gonna sit back and not say nothing. Sorry. Anyways, so back to the root, the actual root of colorism. People seem to think it's rooted in slavery, like the Willie Lynch letter, but we are now finding out with research that the Willie Lynch letter was created in the 60s and 70s, and it doesn't have anything to do with 1700s like the previous showed. So, what are you talking? Of course, I'm talking about it because somebody's talking about me. You're not making sense. Exactly. I'm not arguing with anyone who can't tell me who their fourth great grandma is. Seriously. If you're not putting in work like that, why are you doing all this talking? Why are you talking for 4 hours if you're not even putting in work on your own family? It's ridiculous. But anyways, I was going back to the actual root of colorism. And a lot of it has to do with the turn of the century and after emancipation. We all know that there was already a community of free people of color, and then they emancipate another group of people of color. So right there, that creates tension. Certain groups and families start creating these clubs. Some of y'all know that if y'all watch the Cosby Show not in the 70s, in the 80s, they kind of addressed it a little bit with the paper bag test and all those things. They used to actually have clubs for certain families of a lighter skin color, and they used to really have paper bag tests, comb tests, and stuff at the door because these people, it was very much out of ignorance and the assumption that most of the enslaved people were dark skinned, which was totally not true. If you actually read the slave narratives and read the runaway logs, you'll see that a good percent of them were light skinned. So, anyways, a lot of the colorism is coming from the turn of the century after slavery, not during slavery, because the people were treated as pretty much the same. We know that Roots is a lie, and in the Roots, they're trying to say that they had the light skinned people in the house and the dark skinned people in the field, and that's totally false. All whoever the most skilled people to do certain jobs and the most likable people were in the house, the people that they could trust the most. It had nothing to do with skin color or hair texture, right? Some of them were light that were, um, related to the family, but a lot of times the women didn't want those children in the house, so they would definitely be in the field. So it's based on who was the owner, what type of, was it a plantation, was it a shop, was it, blacksmith business? It depends on all that. So it was nothing across the board like that Willie Lynch letter tried to make it out to be. So once you start doing some more research on that, in those groups, the blue vein clubs, and what was the other, something beige society, I can't remember the name of these silly groups. You said too many scholars in the comments. Yeah, everybody knows so much, right? Oh, you said, why do people with the most crap to say got no content? I have no idea. I'm not sure what content the brother has or whatever. Whoever has. That's not my business. I'm just doing what I do on my page. That's what I was doing before. You said, Brandon, you said you've been battling the tourists. Yeah, the tours, I haven't been able to go. I went up there to the National Archives. I couldn't find any parking, so I had to leave. So I'm just gonna let it chill out for a little bit until like September or something, Brandon. But anyways, do you guys have any questions about colorism and what can we really do about this issue? You said you found your family in land patents. Yeah, the Bureau of Land Management is at the you can find it online too. It is at the National Archives, Jesse. You said colorism, hot legs. Yeah, they had a little bit of colorism in the mid to late 1800s, but it mostly exploded after emancipation and during the industrial period. If you look through actual documents, you will see the more of the like beauty ads and things like that promoting a lightness or a whiteness in straight hair. You'll see like Murray's Grease, I think that's the name of the brand, promoting. They used to have light skinned people on there with straight hair. By now, I think they're so-called white people on there. I can't remember. I haven't seen it. I don't use that grease, but you can look at the different ads of that era. If you go in the Library of Congress, I believe it's in the catalog section, Cataloging America, you could be able to find like old newspapers and stuff. Yeah, you won't be so hateful if you find your tribe, certain people. Yeah, that's just how it is. You're not gonna be worried so much about other people, about what other groups are doing. You're gonna be doing you. So any upcoming events in my area? Love Lacey powwow season's about to start in September, so it's gonna be a whole bunch of powwows in Virginia and North Carolina. You said you have a black plastic bag test over the head. You silly. Oh, Karen, you want to be my? Let me make you a mod because um, Yardy isn't on. She's usually on there to be on. Yeah, so the colorism thing is kind of bothering me, and I'm seeing all of my timeline and on Facebook. I'm just not understanding where it's coming from. If you're secure in yourself, you're not gonna have to discriminate on somebody based on their skin color or try to tell them who they are because you know who you are, so you're not worried about who they are, right? Yeah, that too, Karen. The real Indian have land patterns and that were listed as abandoned. Yeah, Jesse, that's what I was telling y'all. Well, last week when I went to the courthouse a couple of weeks ago, um, down in country in Virginia. My family's actually in the first deed book, so they have the land pattern for that. Well, they had it, the land pattern for that area, and they actually used to own a whole section, like a whole town called Mango Hick out there. So they had the land pattern for Mango Hick, and that's because they kept, marrying indigenous women, and they were half indigenous themselves, and the whole thing. People were trying to they say, keep the blood pure, and the indigenous families were marrying each other. And I guess eventually they had to sell some of the land away. Did they pay the fee simple in gold? Well, I think the cheapest that I saw them buy land in the deed book was $10. And it was a lot of family members would pass the land down too to make sure that the family had the actual deed to that, the ownership to that land. There was one case in there of one of my ancestors. Um, well, this is after they so-called burned the courthouse by accident. The courthouse burnt down, but he had his copy of his deed at home. So all of the people who did not have their copy of their deeds, they weren't able to go back to the courthouse and reestablish ownership of their land, and they lost all their land. And most of the people in that area were people of color, right? So this was like the late 1800s. So all those people lost all their land, because of this. And I think that was what the point was, to burn the courthouses. If you start doing your genealogy, you'll see a lot of the courthouses in the South have been burned. And that's for that reason. A lot of indigenous people had the land patterns, right? You said beating a dead horse. What is beating a dead horse? Education is necessary, but I'm confused. Are you talking about Mad Dog? You said Aboriginal, Pan African. What's the difference? It is the difference is the mentality or how people identify, really, because some of the same people can be in the same family. So I wonder if people still know how to do research, do a research paper. Genealogy is basically the same thing, right? Yeah, it is basically. Yep, they tricked. And that's what a lot of the hangings, the lynchings were about too. It was about stealing land and scaring the people off the land so they will be abandoned. And that happened especially after emancipation. Thank you, Tony. So you can see how colorism and all those things tie into at the beginning of the century, the turn of the century, because it was a lot of jealousy and hate going on amongst people who had less. You know, a lot of the people were immigrants from Germany and Scotland, especially Scotland. Um, and actually, the rebel flag for the Confederates is patterned after the Iroquois flag and the Scottish flag because a lot of those people in the civilized tribes were part Scottish. So that's why they blend those. If you go now, you can look up what the Scottish flag looks like. It's like white with a blue X across it, right? And red is one of the main colors of a lot of the Iroquois Confederacy tribes. So they use that. That's like a war color. Alito, Javon. So all of those things tie in with the colorism. Um, peace and blessing. You said when was emancipation? Emancipation happened around with 1864, 65, whichever one they acknowledge. Because the war, you know, some of the war was still going on. So, also on, you can look up some of this information on the Freedmen's Bureau, which is on the National Archives website as well. So you said the volume is fine. Okay, yeah, because I had to turn the AC on. Yeah, so a lot of us can even see in our own family the different shades, the different hair textures and looks. And all of that is not due to everybody being mixed or this and that because there's mixed people who are mixed on the line who are dark skinned with very kinky hair. You wouldn't even assume that they were mixed with European ancestry. So you can't go on looks all the time. Now, phenotype and looks are different. You're going to have the same facial bone structure. Like my son is very light, but he has a similar phenotype to me. Different hair color, texture a little bit different. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But you'll see in their face that they look similar, right? You said you mix with Aboriginal and Aboriginal. Right. I mean, you can't say people's mix if they have a European ancestor like 7 generations back. Like, come on now. Yeah, it's like certain people are doing things to make it convenient, and then it's like if you don't agree with them, um, they don't want to, I guess, give you credit for anything. So everything you're saying is totally wrong just because they don't agree with you on one thing, and that's not how it should be. All right, I honestly do not have a personal issue with anybody who's talking about me or whatever. I don't care. But I'm not gonna sit back and let you talk about me. That's, you know what I'm saying, without saying something. He said people are confused. My grandmother in Georgia used to use bear grease to make her hair straight. Yeah, they make grease out of everything, especially bear grease. But you know the bears are kind of extinct on the East Coast now, so they had to use all type of things. Coconut, I mean not coconut. I said acorn. Y'all, I'm tired. I'm tired right now. It's towards the end of the day, y'all used to me coming on earlier in the day. But yeah, I'll do another video on like the hair care and stuff too, because I know that information. He said ain't nothing but an ultra perm. Right, yeah, you know, and the people back then they used perm too. So even if you're looking at some of those pictures from the 1800s, some of those pictures, those people have wigs on, and some of the pictures they use um, the conch on their hair. They had perm. Now, a lot of people don't know is that we had perm here for hundreds of years, right? And y'all know from your grandmas, great grandmas, and then they used to make the conch out of potatoes and stuff, like natural stuff that you can find, potatoes. Lye is just ashes from the campfire or fireplace. So they'll have the potatoes and the, I think it's fermented, but I don't know how to make it. Fermented potatoes and the lye ash and whatever else they mix up in it to make the straightener. You said you didn't. Oh, this is your second time not getting a notification, Pony. You have to click the bell button and then select all. Click the solid bell. Yep, they don't understand that we've been grooming our hair and stuff, right, Karen? Lance, you said your third great grandmother was born in 1876 from Wilkes County, Georgia. Her father is from West Virginia. Surname Bird. You did a video about a man named last name. Yeah, William Byrd. William Byrd the second. I did the video on. He is actually British. But one of my subscribers actually told me that he is descended from William Byrd the second. Um, he's a pale guy, right, from the European side, and he said that they found out that his ancestor had a whole nother family with an indigenous woman. Now, if y'all know from, I need to do part two of that video too, but if y'all know from the Byrd journals, the Westover manuscript, he was talking like he was so grossed out by dark-skinned women, right? Talking about you have to have the stomach to sleep with them and all this other stuff. And come to find out, he had a whole nother wife who was dark-skinned, right? Who was an indigenous woman. And I'm not sure what tribe that was. I'm assuming that it's like a Nansemond or the Nottoway, which was in the area, right? Lance, is that Lance that was talking? Yeah, Lance. So your mother's side moved from Louisiana. And so your grandma made soap out of lye. Yeah, you can make soap out of lye. It's a certain way they do it. I think they add, I don't know what they add. I'll find out. But they add something to it to make it, to activate it, right? Y'all know when y'all used to put the little kitty perms in, you had to add that liquid to activate it. They use something. I can't remember it right now. Like I told you, I'm tired. It's like towards the end of the day. I've been out all day, so. You said they use white sage. Yeah, they probably add sage to it too. Yeah, this stuff it did use to burn a lot. You said I look like one of your family members. Are you from Georgia or Tennessee? No, I used to live in Georgia, but I'm not from Georgia. Most of my family is from Virginia, and I found out one my great grandfather's family is from North Carolina, like the borderline North Carolina. So I'm still looking into to their side. Because I had done genealogy for a whole nother family. Then I found out that his dad was his stepdad. So now I got to go back. So you said your family comes from Chief Wahasanaka, the father of Pocahontas. Me too. Kifra, me too. Okay, yeah, please email me, Lance, at I think you did. Did you already email me? At thetashashi@gmail.com. I'll try to help you. I'm trying to read y'all. I'm looking stuck, but I was trying to read your messages. But yeah, we gotta stop this colorism, whatever. It's silly, and we're supposed to be doing something different. We're not supposed to be like you know what I'm saying? These other groups, we claim we're different, we're doing something new, but we're remixing the same stuff. Right. So who's from North Carolina? I don't know how to put my email in the chat because it won't let me. It won't let me type. It's not like on like the Facebook Live. Um, YouTube Live doesn't let me chat on, at least on the phone version. If I was on my computer, I can do it. Yeah, but there's also Mayan, like the Mayan pictures and things. You can see the various different skin colors of people. Even though, like I've been saying for years, the majority were brown or dark-skinned people. If you go looking on the pictures, as well as in a lot of the descriptions of people. But that does not mean that there were not other different complexions and looks. All right, you represent Karen. Yeah, so I'm gonna get off, y'all. Y'all see it's a long day. I got a headache, so I just wanted to address that, and I don't got no real problem with that brother or whatever. I just thought it was funny. I was a little annoyed by why even bring me up because I don't bring him up. And I would only bring him up to say something positive, but I'm going to address what I'm going to talk about. He said, "Can I spell my email? BTHE Tasha TASHA. She is XI at gmail.com." You said you live in Georgia and your third eldest sister lived there since '82. I lived there in the '90s, y'all. So like in the early '90s, and then I came back again in the mid '90s, mid to late '90s. So yeah, Georgia was nice. I like Georgia. It's a nice little area. Good people down there. You said, what'd you say? Peregrine. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call you Hawk because I can't pronounce it. Because I'm in DC, I need to direct you to one of our mounds under a Masonic temple. You're talking about the one under George Washington's Masonic temple? Is that what you're talking about, Hawk? Yeah, it's a couple of, well, it's DC, so it's going to be a couple of Masonic temples there. And then there's the real big one that's in down, where is it? It's in Northwest. I believe, like, much of that area is under a temple, it's under a mound. You said on Duke Street. Yeah, that's the George Washington Masonic Temple on Duke Street. Hawk. And if you go inside of that, I don't think they let people on the top floor, but if you go on the top floor, there's a big, giant mural of George Washington and some of the family fathers, and they're praying toward these big, dark-skinned people. It looks kind of weird, but yeah, if you get the time, I don't know if they let people, especially now with all the tourists. Maybe if you come during the winter time or another time of year, you might be able to see the mural. And I believe it's online somewhere. You might be able to Google it and find it. So, you got it, Chelsea? Okay. You said, can I speak a little louder? I'm sorry. It's because I just turned that air on. I feel like I'm losing my voice, y'all. Do you guys have any questions before I get off? So I don't want to be on here too long. My throat is hurting. Constantine Rafanik. Yeah, I was just talking about him earlier, Johannes, when he described the different appearances, the different skin colors and different phenotypes of the people here. Anthony. Yeah, so it's more enough proof out there. Y'all want me to do a demonstration? I would do it. I was supposed to do it a long time ago. Somebody challenged me to the debate, and then I forgot all about it. But if y'all want me to find the sources and do the demonstration, just let me know. Okay. Thank you, Jesse. You said anyone who lives in the southern part of North Carolina or the northern part of South Carolina, please research Bladen County. Most of these counties were carved out of this county. Oh, that's a good tip, Karen, for when people are doing a genealogy. Yeah, Hawk. It's on Duke Street. It's the George Washington Masonic Temple. If you Google it, you should be able to find the address. I know I was over there, not at the temple, no. I was in that area yesterday. Can we change the nationality at Social Security office? Yes, Lance, you can do that. They should be able to give you the forms and stuff. It's a simple one. Should be a simple one-page form. It's strange that people will say that they are the first to populate the planet, but won't believe that we populated the Americas. Exactly. That sounds crazy. It sounds really crazy. So, like we was everywhere except here, except Americas. It doesn't make it doesn't make any sense, y'all. He said, "When are we all going to have a physical meeting?" That's a good question. Um, you guys, well, some of you guys know I will be talking. I'll be on a panel, indigenous meetup. I'll put the details on the page for you guys. It's going to be in Southern Virginia, Eatonville, Virginia. Excuse me. I believe it's going to be October 18th and 19th. So if you guys want to come out, I think now she has the tickets up um, for free. You guys can get your tickets for free, but you're going to have to pay at the door. So I'll put up the details for you guys. I had forgotten that I need to start posting it now because it's getting close to the time. So if you guys want to come meet me, you're going to have to be out there, right? And I'm not sure what airport you're going to have to take, probably Richmond Airport. All right, yep, and have the melanated tribes all over the world, John. You said you want to leave Chicago and move to Richmond. King, I know you might be bored, but Richmond's really coming up. I was there a couple weeks ago. They're really gentrifying it, but not so much so. Um, it's different, more diverse, not just Caucasian gentrification. There's other melanated people from other parts of the state and different states coming down there because they're redoing everything like they did downtown. It looks so beautiful. And Richmond has a rich history for people of color, especially after emancipation, like we were talking about. The Freeman Bureau has a lot of files from Richmond because Richmond had one of the first, I think the first, colored banks. And it was started by a woman. So she has her own museum down there. And I rode past it last time I was there, but I didn't get a chance to go in. So maybe I'll try to go in so you guys can see it. You said your great great grandfather was born in Maryland and then he showed up in Virginia in the 1820s. Yeah, a lot of those people just moved back and forth around that area. They moved back and forth. It's not that far of a drive from Maryland, Virginia. You said your grandpa was 100 years of Richmond ancestry. Yeah, Richmond is very nice. So if you guys come out, to the event. It's supposed to be an indigenous panel, indigenous meetup. It's something for all of us to come out and speak with each other. Just meet up and have a good time. They're going to have vendors, so if you guys want to vend, you'll be able to vend there as well. I'm not sure if there's a fee for vending. You will have to contact um, Lyron, who's the chief of the Akamat tribe, and inquire about that. But it should be good, y'all. Just for us to be out together and meeting each other. That should be something nice, right? Something different. But I'll give you all the details to that, and I'll post it on my YouTube page and my Facebook page. Thank you, Love Legacy. You said the event, it's going to be in October. I believe it's 18 and 19. Don't quote me. 18th and 19th. So I have to find out the exact date and times for you guys, and the address and stuff, so you guys can find it out. Do you know any Thornhills from Lynchburg? No, I don't personally know any of them. But Richmond has all those files for all those counties. So if you're coming to Richmond, instead of going to all those different individual counties, you can just hit up the Library of Virginia, like I keep telling everybody. And they should have all the files. They have at least a copy from all the counties. That's what they claimed. They told me when I was there last time. So all right, y'all. I'll see y'all don't have any more questions. I'm going to sign off. Please share the video out just to get the information out about colorism. And if I'm mistaken what the brother said, I do apologize. I'm hearing from my family member who saw it, so I'm going off her word. But if he meant something else, I'm not opposed to talking about it. So, yes, we must begin to build, right, Hawk? And that's why the chief, she wanted to have this event. So, we're not getting back into Virginia Indian. The chief, Lyron, she's a Virginia Indian. So, we look like Virginia Indians. I don't know what to say. But I'm going to have the information posted up so you guys can see it and get your tickets while they're still free and you don't have to pay at the door. Because she's really just trying to get people out and meeting. It's not really something to make money off of it. And I believe she's coming out of her own pocket for a lot of things. So I'm just very grateful that I was picked to speak, and represent our heritage. So I believe Gabriel Rich will be there, as well as Carrie Davis too. So if you guys want to meet them, I'm not sure who else is going to be on the panel. Thank you, Michael. So share the video out, like, comment. Y'all got something to say. If y'all saw the video and y'all want to say what was said, quote by quote or whatever, comment below. Share it out. We gotta squash this issue of colorism. It's really petty right now. We don't need to be doing it. We got bigger fish to fry right now. Reclaiming our families, our heritage, our family's heritage, and also land and other things. Just like the brother was talking about the abandoned land at the Bureau of Land Management. There's a whole bunch of abandoned lands there, so your family might have those land abandoned. So you need to. You said, what you talking about, Karen? Yeah, we wore head wraps here too, right? You're right. So, Channel and Gapo, and I'll see you guys next time.